It is said that freedom isn't free, and while the benefit of a defanged non-nuclear Iran should be obvious, the cost is even more so. In the last 24 hours, the average price of gas rose from $3.99 to $4 a gallon. Now, in the minds of Americans, that difference adds up to much more than a penny a gallon. The lead analyst at GasBuddy calls the $4 mark a, quote, psychological wall, a benchmark that is so significant, he says gas stations sometimes cut into their own margins rather than post prices above $3.99. But in the current price crunch, good luck finding a gas station that is extending such courtesies.
I stay home now most of the time. I get home, I hit the gym on the way home, and that's about the only outing I do now. And it's on the way home, so I don't waste no gas doing it.
It's not just at the gas pump. The high cost of energy makes everything more expensive, from food to plastics to electronics. Consider chicken, the meat Americans buy most. From farm to table, fuel costs hit that chicken at just about every stop along the way, starting with the moment it's hatched. The diesel tractors for the grain that feeds it. Then diesel trucks take those chickens to processing plants that use lots of fuel. Finally, refrigerated trucks take the chicken to grocery stores to sit in refrigerated cases, all with a price tag to match all that fuel needed at every step along the way. But unlike the price of gas, which rises almost immediately as oil costs go up, economists say there is a delay before those prices and those escalated price tags are reflected everywhere else. In other words, if you think your grocery bill is already too high, economists say, just wait. So, how bad will it get? How long will it last? And is reopening the Strait of Hormuz enough to end the supply shock? Joining us now is editor-in-chief of Investopedia, Caleb Silver, and also NewsNation political contributor Mick Mulvaney, who served as Trump's first chief of staff, and also, more importantly, director of the Office of Management and Budget, because it's that experience I'm going to draw on. But Mick, I've got two political questions before I get to everything else with Caleb. First, I want to hear from you. What do you make of President Trump's comments today to our European allies, go get your own oil, signaling it's not our job to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, it's theirs?
I get it and I don't get it, Elizabeth. I get it because we don't get hardly any oil from the Straits of Hormuz. The Europeans get almost all of theirs. So I understand that context, but I don't understand essentially saying, okay, Europe, you take care of this. Because either they won't or they can't. And either way, that means we're putting our economic future in the hands of these European countries. And I'm not sure why that is where the White House is taking these discussions. It's a huge risk. And I'm not sure the Europeans have the ability to do it, even if they wanted to. I'm not sure they want to. So I was surprised to hear those comments today.
Yeah, we might not get our oil, or most of our oil, we don't, through the Strait of Hormuz, but it's a global oil market. So we're affected either way. And right now, it's that economic pain that appears to be driving President Trump to try and wrap it up there.
It is, and I think he's telegraphed that he wants an off-ramp. There's no question about it. I think he'd love to end the war tomorrow if he can, but Iran has to agree to that. Look, we've talked about this before. Either the straits have to be opened through negotiations, or they have to be opened through military action, but they have to be opened. Trump can't leave with the straits closed because that's putting America at tremendous risk. We are safer, there's no question. I saw the comments today in the Oval Office. We are safer as a nation now because Iran is so weak. But I'm not sure people understand the price that they're going to pay for that safety because it hasn't hit yet.
Right, and also the big question, how long are we safer if we leave them with all that uranium and not entirely decimated and with the power to control the Strait of Hormuz? Okay, Caleb, the International Monetary Fund is warning this week that no matter how the war ends, all roads lead to higher prices and slower growth. This is going to be a big deal on a lot of fronts.
Yeah, they're feeling the pain definitely in Asia right now, in places like Australia where they're actually rationing gas. But we're going to feel it here in the United States, and it's coming soon. We're already feeling it in the form of higher gasoline prices. It's a nuisance at $4 a gallon. It's a real financial pain for families who are just scraping by here. It's costing families right now anywhere from $700 to $1,200 a year if these prices remain high. If prices go even higher, we're talking about potential stagflation, where you're going to get rising prices everywhere. Inflation, because the rising price of oil brings all prices up, slowing growth, and potentially a slowing jobs market, which we've already seen evidence of.
And it's not just gas. The Organization for Economic Development is forecasting inflation rates of 4.2%. That's double what the Fed's target pre-war rate was for inflation.
Yeah, and the real feel for consumers, they don't think about 3 or 4%. They're thinking about chicken prices now at $20 for a pack of chicken. They're thinking about higher prices pretty much everywhere they turn, already on top of tariffs. So this is kind of a double whammy for consumers. But you talk about the derivatives. The top of the barrel, that's the gasoline. The bottom of the barrel, that's that crude oil and all the derivatives that come from it. That means jet fuel. That means higher airline prices. We've already heard from United and Delta. They're going to raise prices. That means higher fertilizer costs. You mentioned it with the chickens. That means higher costs for things like ammonium and nitrogen and things to grow in growing season coming up here in the spring and summer, and then other derivatives like aluminum and helium.
Yeah, Mick, we were talking in the break about helium. I didn't pay a lot of attention to helium until this war with Iran. I just thought it went into the balloons at my kid's birthday party. But it actually is incredibly important to making all the semiconductor chips that power iPhones, that power electronic devices, that power appliances, that power our laptops, and make our MRI machines work all over the world.
Yeah, it's that cooling agent, right? It's an inert gas, so it does allow for cooling of all of the basic electronics and technological components we're using today across the way we live our lifestyles.
Mick, go ahead, and because my question also is, did somebody in game planning this war at the White House, did they take into account the fact that it wasn't just oil that might be strangled off in the Strait of Hormuz, but helium, aluminum, fertilizer? A third of the world's fertilizer comes through the Strait of Hormuz.
The answer to that question is easy, Elizabeth, because it's absolutely yes. These things have been war-gamed out hundreds, if not more times than that over the course of the last 40 years. None of this is going to be a surprise. The question is, did the administration misjudge how long it would take? Did the administration misjudge the response? And so forth. But they know where the helium comes from. They know where natural gas comes from. That's not news to anybody. It's just a question of whether or not this is going to go on much longer than they expected. Keep in mind, they asked for $200 billion. At least we expect the Department of Defense to ask for $200 billion. We also know they're burning through about $1 to $2 billion a day. That's 100 days worth of war planning that's tied up in that number. So I think there's a lot of evidence here that this might go on longer than people realize, and that's terrible for the economy. Again, maybe great for national security, and I get it. We are safer, period. But it's going to come at quite a cost.
Yeah, and Caleb, what's the golden rule with all these prices of oil, when it comes to the price of oil? Up like a rocket, down like a feather?
Down like a feather, and the cure for higher prices is higher prices. Eventually consumers tap out, and so do businesses, and that slower spending could really slow the economy down. It was looking like it was coming into the year very strong. Despite tariffs and everything else, we're facing a pretty intense slowdown if this continues.
A recession-type slowdown?
Yeah, you start with stagflation, and that could last for a while. That's that slow growth, rising prices. That could easily lead to a recession. Take it back to the OPEC embargo in '73. Take it back to, what happened when we got into the first Gulf War. We had a real slowdown in the economy,
right.
Big plunge in the stock market. These things have a tendency of repeating, even though we're less oil reliant than we used to be.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.